Hey traders, welcome back to another Sunday video where I go over trade setups for the week ahead. And starting out, as I usually do, I'm going to be just updating you guys on my personal trading performance. This is from my brokerage account that I use called Webull. It's for US people. There will be a link down below in the description. Okay, so here's something to take note of. This year has been really good, but this month has actually turned out to be my first drawdown in a while. And what I mean by drawdown, if you're newer to trading, this is of course a period of time where I'm taking strings of losses or things are just not going well in my trading this month. But what I often talk about when it comes to drawdown, there's so many lessons to be taken from drawdown that new traders really struggle with. New traders think that, trading should look like this every single month. And while those stretches are amazing and they do happen, sometimes you have to deal with the drawdowns. I'm down 3% this month, which is actually a pretty significant drawdown for a single month. But of course, overall, things are still very fine. And again, I'm staying the course, sticking to my plan. This is not the first time I've been in a drawdown, and it will not be the last one. So now on to trading setups. All right, guys, and we are now on the charts taking a look at setups for the week ahead. First of all, you guys know I like to show you trades that I am currently in. This trade is actually going very well, and it's my first currency pair trade in a minute. I'm currently short EURUSD as we hit a level of resistance that I really liked. Entered into the trade there pretty recently following all of the CPI news, just this reaction to the EURUSD 4-hour supply zone, basically tagged it, came right back into it, and I decided, you know what, I'm going to put a stop just above the high and see where this one goes. It's gone very well so far, and to just kind of walk you through the breakdown behind this trade, I did share this inside of our Discord channel, so if I scroll up right here, that's where I trailed my stop. Let's see, yeah, so I sold EURUSD on the 10th of August, and there I risked about 45 pips just after that big rejection was hit. Selling key resistance in an overall downtrend. Economic figures generally favor the US at this time when compared to, I'm sorry, that's a typo, when compared to the euro is what that should say. GDP growth, inflation figures, unemployment, and interest rates all favor the US. Okay, so there's a little bit of fundamentals, a little bit of economic figures there as well recently. And I of course shared the screenshots, the breakdowns behind this trade, and of course, so far it's gone very well. So I actually ended up trailing my stop loss, as you guys probably saw on the screen there, and from this point even, it continued to break through support. It's been a beautiful trade so far. You can see there's that support level that broke, and here is where I have since trailed my stop loss. Why did I trail my stop loss at that point? Well, we put in a beautiful lower high. And after that breakdown through support, I went ahead and took my stop loss from here and brought it all the way into profit. So if you guys would like to get access to the trade alerts that I'm sharing, that is a service that I offer. It is a ton of work. It can be a little bit stressful, to be completely honest, to share your trades in front of people, especially when you're going through a drawdown. It is a service that Frank and I offer. And when I say Frank and I, if you don't know Frank, he is my trading colleague. We've been trading together for a number of years, and he shares his trades. I share my trades. We share swing trades, our position trades. We do some day trading, all sorts of stuff. We trade currency pairs, we trade gold, and we trade indices. So if you'd like access to those trade alerts, there will be a link down below in the description, and it's on sale right now. If you use that code, you'll get 20% off the group. There's a pretty picture of Frank and I, two pals, two best buddies. We've been friends for a long time and traded together for several years. So I invite you to come join the group. It is a very educational platform, and if you're looking for that sort of thing, if you're struggling in your trading, I highly recommend it. And I say this often, but I do offer that service. I do sell that service, and I genuinely believe that it is something that would help you if you are struggling. If you want to look over the shoulder of traders who have been doing it for a number of years and learn something, there's no better way than to get in their live room. Whether it's mine or somebody else that you want to learn from, do it. It's worth the money, I promise. Anyways, let's take a look. Pound USD is the next one on the list. You can see price has been struggling to kind of break out of this range. People were asking me, Nick, are you going to trade pound USD? It's more volatile. You get more pips out of trading pound dollar compared to euro dollar. And, I just don't like the daily chart nearly as much here. There's a huge level of support that the pound has to kind of break through, in my opinion, really to let go of any bullish pressure there. So for me, pound dollar is probably off the list. There's a huge list of things to take a look at here today. I'm going to try and go rapid fire on many of these charts. If you would like to, of course, you can skip to wherever in the video, but I'm going to try and hit most of these very, very quickly. Let's start with dollar CAD. Dollar CAD is actually one of the top rated currency pairs on the list. Here's dollar CAD off the daily chart. 4-hour chart brings into view a nice little missed trade for me, but it's okay. I got EURUSD, so I can't really complain. I did catch some of the dollar moves. Surprisingly, the EDGEFINDER is very bullish dollar right now, which could be a short-term thing. We'll just have to see, but I'll go into that in just a second. If you're not familiar with the EDGEFINDER, it is our software tool that we offer here at A1 Trading. I run a software company where we build tools for traders, data visualization stuff, that sort of thing. Anyways, dollar CAD is what we're looking at here, and a huge level of resistance actually broke out. And we came back to this area, and I was so close to entering a trade. I was waiting for the 38.2, and you can see it narrowly missed it before continuing. But fortunately, in that same period of time, that's about where I entered into my EURUSD short, which of course would be, positively impacted by a strengthening dollar, right? Because euro down, dollar up. So in this case, dollar up, push dollar CAD up. Anyways, where am I at with this one? Probably waiting for a retest to this area before anything further. USD ZAR I'm going to skip. US 10-year I'm going to skip. US oil I'm going to skip. These are things that I personally don't really trade, but we know many traders do trade these things, so that's why it's on our software. Euro Aussie. Let's see. Euro Aussie. I'm going to just kind of start fresh here for a second. Big breakout, right? Huge breakout that has never really retested this zone of support. I think it's probably, a little bit out of the focus now. I think if you're just looking at this, we're in a nice upward channel. If you're looking at Euro Aussie and you're saying, okay, where's the opportunity? Well, I like this kind of pullback zone, and you may get something here. Right, there may be something there. It's not my favorite setup, and because I'm already short Euro USD, I don't necessarily love the idea of going long another Euro pair, but from just a technical perspective, that does look pretty good. Pound Aussie, probably about the same thing. Pound New Zealand, Pound CAD. I'm going to skip these. These are pairs that I don't usually trade. I would like to take just a quick look at Bitcoin. Okay, never mind. Bitcoin completely boring, just sideways. Really not interested there. Dollar Swiss getting a bullish reading. Very interesting. Dollar Swiss actually looks kind of like a little bit of a flag pattern, probably off the daily chart. Yeah, you get this little big push up, sideways move. If you're watching this one, right, I would say kind of look for the breakouts. That could be kind of interesting if you're watching Dollar Swiss. Let's keep going. Dollar yen, big one, guys, big one. Dollar yen is in a bullish move, and this is huge. Wow, I didn't realize we reached the previous highs. Okay, so a lot of people are going to say, Nick, here's the daily chart, big resistance up here for USDJPY. It's got to come down now, right? Well, the answer to that question is not necessarily, because we've put in higher lows, higher highs, and we've got strength coming into this area of what is resistance. Is it possible that this thing gets a little bit of a beat down this week? Sure, it's possible. But what's really important here is that I think if you do see a breakout to this level of resistance, we very well could just see one of these guys, right? Just a continuation with new buyers entering into this market. So dollar yen, certainly more bullish than bearish in my personal opinion, and breakouts are kind of on the horizon in my view. If we do double back before then, there may be an opportunity to possibly see this area of previous resistance hold as support again. Again, this is a 4-hour chart, so if we draw this fib, that 38.2% is looking awfully interesting. This is pretty frequent. Sometimes you get price come into a resistance like this, and we see some short-term reaction to it just to kind of find buying pressure to really get through it. So that's where I'm at with dollar yen. Pretty bullish overall. And again, until that cracks, I'm just trading what I'm seeing. I've been dollar bearish, but if right now the charts are showing me, bullish, and the EDGEFINDER is factoring in lots of bullishness, we got to go from there. We're going to pause. We're going to come back to this list. I want to just show you guys the Smart Money Tracker. This is really interesting to see this. Smart Money Tracker, if you don't actually use this or you don't have access to our software, again, I mentioned we're a software company out of Atlanta, Georgia. We build tools for traders, and one of our most heavily requested tools is, of course, the Commitment of Traders data that we have built what I think to be a very, very easy to read application for tracking the commitment of traders data every week. So here we are, we're taking a look at the list of assets. You can see the farthest left is going to be your most bearish assets. Now, what do I mean by most bearish? These are hedge funds positioning. That's what we're looking at. We're looking at big money, professional money managers, large speculators in the market. What are they buying? What are they selling? Keep it really simple. Well, these things are the most bearish. These things are the most bullish. As of the latest updated reporting, this is where we are at. So we have things like GBP, the Nikkei, gold, euro, and oil. These things are very, very bullish. You take a look at the other end of the spectrum, Japanese yen, bonds. Now, I should say this is the yield curve. So if they're very short on this, they're really long bonds, which is interesting. The Australian dollar and the Swiss franc, right? So if you're looking at these assets, take into consideration institutional money is short these things, institutional money is long these things. Why that is important is because, again, these are the professionals in the industry, and if they are very long something, I'm generally looking to be long those things myself. Not always, and it's not a perfect indicator by any means, but we could also take a look at some of the key notable things. Frank pointed out to me that the S&P 500 was interesting this week, and that certainly does seem to be the case. What we can see here is that on the S&P 500, on the net change of short contracts, there was a massive decrease in shorts. This means that on average, a ginormous number of short contracts that were open on the S&P 500 were closed. And that is, why would you close a short? Well, maybe you think things are going up. Or long contracts being bought or additional long contracts coming on, that shows bullish interest. So both of these things are very bullish for the S&P 500. So kind of an interesting week-to-week change there. If we take a look at the NASDAQ, nothing too interesting there, pretty mixed. And then finally for the US 30, we can see kind of a mix. There's a lot of things here to go through, and if you'd like to pause the video to take a look at this, feel free to do so. And remember, if you do want access to this software, you can get access to it down below in the description as well. It comes with the Smart Money Tracker, the Retail Sentiment, Bank Signals, High Probability Watch List, signals for 30 plus assets of pairs, and yes, it is a one-time payment. Believe it or not, when I was looking for software tools, they would always have like a monthly subscription attached to them. And so when we built our own, we decided not to do that. We decided, hey, you know what? If people want our software, if they want to support our project, pay the price to get the tool, and then it's yours for good. So again, the link and promo code will be down below in the description. That promo code knocks off the price substantially for you. So if this is a tool that you think would be useful to you, again, we build tools specific for traders. We listen to the community. We build what traders very often are looking for. And the COT data is a huge one for us. Another big one is retail sentiment, which I think is interesting going into this week. We could take a look at some of the major currency pairs. Now, remember, we mentioned USD pairs kind of being bullish. Well, look at USD-CHF. Retail traders are they're very long this. So this would be one that I probably avoid going long myself, right? This is kind of a red flag for me. If retail traders are very long something, I take that as a pretty contrarian or bearish indicator because retail traders typically lose money, okay? Amateur traders on average, they lose money. And so if they're all long something, I want to be a short. Dollar yen, flip it around. Dollar yen, very short. Okay, that's actually something promising. Retail traders are shorting this pair aggressively. I want to be long, right? Just some things to think about. And if we take a look at the indices, because we just spoke about them for a moment, let's take a look at this. Indices all here as well, very short biased overall. So that's going to kind of keep me on the bullish camp as well. Now, the indices have kind of made their way off of this list. And what notably has made its way back on this list is gold. Gold coming in as a bearish reading. I get the downtrend part. It's in a very clear downtrend. GDP growth, of course, growth in the GDP area generally causes optimism around the dollar, causes optimism in general, and optimism is not always great for gold, right? So that is negative. That makes sense. Inflation, kind of mixed right now. Unemployment, jobs numbers looking pretty solid overall. Still kind of a bearish reading there for gold. Interest rates, of course, have still been hiked, and forecasts are still out there looking to more hikes. So gold right now, it's honestly looking a little bit bearish. Now, the COT data is very bullish, so that's a little questionable. Retail, though, is very bullish, so that's kind of a bearish reading. Seasonal trends, again, a slight positive drift for the month of August. Okay, we just went through a lot of this stuff. Here's the thing. It's impossible for me to explain fully how the EDGEFINDER works in one single video. If you're a regular viewer and you watch and you understand how the EDGEFINDER works, do me a quick favor and just type "I understand" in the chat or in the YouTube comments. If you made it this far in the video, comment the words "I understand." And if you don't understand, that's fine. But maybe with some more videos, you will start to understand how we score and how we find trading opportunities using fundamentals, sentiment, and technical analysis. On my channel, my goal, and with my own trading, of course, my goal is to find trades that kind of fit the bill for all of these things, right? I'm not looking to take trades where fundamentals are bearish and just because the technicals look kind of bullish, I'm going to take that trade, right? I don't do that. I go with the fundamentals and I look for technical setups that agree. So again, if you want access to our software, it is available down below in the description at a discounted rate. Let's pull up that gold chart. Take a look here. Again, gold super bearish. Chart looks terrible, right? For bulls at least. You know, some people are going to get on the weekly time frame. They're going to say, well, hey, you know, this looks bullish. Well, look, this is even in my opinion kind of bearish. Like, where are the bulls? They're just nowhere to be found. And again, I think it might just be that currently we have a lot of still economic resiliency. GDP growth was impressive. You know, and let's talk about gold for just a second. People are oftentimes confused. Why does gold just keep going down? Guys, gold tends to rally when there's fear in the world. Remember the bank crisis stuff a couple months back? That caused gold to spike. Remember the Ukraine invasion? Gold spiked. Remember COVID? Gold spiked. There is less and less fear right now in the markets, and that's causing gold to shrink. Now, also, we had some news out of China recently. CPI, or inflation in China, was down. That is showing slowing in some growth. So why does that matter? Well, China is a lead user of metals because they are a ginormous export economy. So it's kind of bearish. Again, if China was, you know, thumping and going real hard on the exports and demanding tons of raw materials, the price of silver and gold could go up, copper, of course, as well. But we don't see that right now. So again, that's a little bit of fundamentals for your day. But again, my take on gold is it's bearish till proven otherwise. I'm not necessarily short just yet, but I am actually kind of intrigued in the idea of looking for short opportunities. Biggest idea for me would be a short-term shorting opportunity underneath this low, retests, continuations, okay? Keep it really simple. I'm looking for that setup this week on gold until further notice, until we get something to change here for the price of gold. I will be reactive, of course, but right now, gold is looking bearish. So I'm taking it for what it is. You guys know I was bullish for quite a while on gold. I made some money. I lost some money once things started to turn around. And now I'm looking to see, I haven't taken any trades on gold in a while, so I'm watching it. Now this trend does seem to be still intact. We'll look for some leg lower, retest, continuations. That is what I'm looking at for gold this week. Let's take a look at the S&P 500. The indices have been treating me pretty poorly recently. That was a lead contributor to the drawdown that I showed you guys at the beginning of this video. Indices, I would say, in a longer term, still upward trend, but the shorter term trend has kind of been put to the side, I would say. So for me, that's how I'm going to treat the S&P 500 right now, is I'm going to wait for trends to continue. I'm not going to short it. It's still a very strong market overall, and I think, you know, optimism around global outlook and things like that is still good. So I do think stocks will do fine, but you know, it's one of those things. I'm not going to be long until the market's kind of showing me that strength. So this week, if we do start to get price action to start cleaning up a little bit, breaking out, right? If we get, you know, something like this, big breaks, yeah, perhaps we get back into the bullish camp. But right now, not quite the case, and kind of on the sidelines for S&P. NASDAQ, same story. Actually, NASDAQ got beat up even worse, right? Big sell-off from the top so far. But again, it probably does have some very normal room for sideways to pullback opportunities here before the longer term trend continues. This thing has been on a rocket ship to the upside this year. It has contributed to most of my personal gains in the market as the NASDAQ and the S&P 500. So it's fine that it's taking a little bit of a break. So we'll watch for bullish structure to kind of reappear at some point. But for now, kind of on the sidelines. Remember, guys, any trades that I take, we will be sharing inside of the Discord channel. I share full breakdowns, explanations, and more. And if you guys would like to join that service, remember, it's linked down below in the description. It's free to check it out, tour it, take a look, see if it's something you think would be a fit for you, and come join us inside of the Discord with that promo code YTVIP down below in the description. Hope to meet some of you guys inside of the Discord soon, and we'll see you on the next video.